welcome to the Van
Hello,
and Dan show.
it's Van and Dan. Vroom vroom.
Hello, it's your
Hello.
walking bullbaits,
You're
Van and
walking
Dan.
Bullbaits, Dan and Van. Here we are, Van and Dan. There we go. The dog is already trying to get my
Welcome.
attention. Last week when I was talking to Jamie, talked to him for an hour and a half, and then I sat here and listened to it. And Raven got back there and she chewed up a shoe. She did not. She was something. Yeah, she does not like being ignored. Now she's trying to get my attention.
This
She
dog
don't like
is
this.
on my lap
She
all
doesn't
the
like this machine. Who's this? Who's this little puppy?
This is Bruno Mars.
Oh, that's right. I've met Bruno. Hi, Bruno. Does he sing and dance? Does he do an Elvish impression? Hey, Renee.
Yeah, he's
Renee.
a great dancer, great lover of all things. He was found walking the streets of Compton alone.
Aw, little chihuahua.
Yes, he's a very tough guy. He's from the streets.
Hey, Treasure Bloke says, hello, fellow DBs. So,
Hey, Treasure Bloke.
I want to talk about, I don't know, should we talk about Jamie?
Yeah, so this week, for anybody who didn't see it,
Last week, I
Dan-
talked.
Yeah, last week he talked with his brother, Jamie Mustard. And so it was a special edition of Ketchup with Mustard.
Most definitely.
was
We're gonna do it again.
Double mustard.
It was hangry mustard. No, the worst. Yeah, it was totally like it was so funny because he kind of got into this like funny like sec checky kind of mode of asking questions, and it kind of got me nervous. I was like, oh my god, I'm in trouble. And okay, here's what I want to say to you, Vanessa, and I think you might relate, or maybe not. I don't know, but like when I was a kid, I really felt that I had to kind of like defend my position or my identity as a Scientologist because I wasn't a very participating Scientologist. I didn't go on course very often. I did not join the Sea Org and had no intention or want to do that. And even when I did go to events, I usually ran around and didn't pay attention. So like in that context, growing up that way, I was constantly like defending myself as a Scientologist. And I had in my pocket the LRH definition of a Scientologist. Do you know what that is? Do you know what the LRH definition is? Any person who uses Scientology technology to improve their conditions in life. So you don't have to be on course. You don't have to be online. You don't have to be Sea Org. You don't have to be sucking anybody's dick to be a Scientologist.
Damn,
say what?
That's a little tricky. Like if you read Dianetics and you apply anything at all, then you're a Scientologist.
That's what he said. That's what he said. I'm not making, unless somebody lied to me. I'm not making this up.
I've heard that. Now that you say that, I've heard it.
No, I know I've read it. So, and that was just, there was all these little things that we used to pull to kind of defend me from Cece, because as soon as Cece did the renovations, they had no tolerance for the neighborhood kids anymore, and me included. And because we used to run around there all the time.
Prove that you were a Scientologist.
That I belonged at all. And I felt that way in my family. I felt that way in the neighborhood. I felt that way in the community. I certainly felt that way in Scientology. And so then now he's hitting me with this, and I don't know exactly I feel like he's getting to something. What are you getting to? What are you getting at? And he says at one point, you're not even a Scientologist. You don't know this stuff. And no, I was. And then I realized later on, you're right, Jamie. I was not properly brainwashed. It is true. I was not properly brainwashed. It is a fact.
I think you were properly brainwashed because there's still parts of it that are with you.
It's in here so fucking much. How can you tell me it's not?
I hear it.
It's so much a part of my stupid thinking in my head in all sorts of places all the time. Whether or not I'm using it or it's just there, the Scientology bullshit is there, whether it's helping me or not.
No, it's ingrained.
It all depends on who you ask. And
it's our first language, Scientology.
Very much. And just like when people move to LA and they're trying to be actors and then they call home and all of a sudden that accent you didn't even know they had comes out, right?
Yeah.
Because they're still from Louisiana, no matter where you take them to.
Do you want to hear as a viewer how it came across?
Yeah. Yes, I do very much.
I felt like because he kept asking you about certain things and then asking if you believed it or not.
Right. Is it true? Is it true? Repeat the auditing question. Is it true? Is it true?
I felt like he was trying to find things that you still believed in and like catch you in a being a Scientologist moment.
Which I think is funny because I think he was being a Scientologist in that moment, asking those questions
Yeah.
that way. It all sounded so sec checky, right? Which I love. Like, I'm not complaining, Jamie. I love you. That was fun, but it was also very tense.
Yeah. No, that was super funny. And you guys were cracking me up with your like brotherly tips back and forth. People in the chat were like, oh, yeah, they're definitely brothers. Like, this is hilarious.
It was funny, and I said that to my therapist today. I was like, we never had to have any of that sibling rivalry when we were kids.
Mm-hmm.
We never got to have any of that.
You didn't really live alone.
We didn't live together. And even when we did, it was always, some sort of proper event. Somebody was dead or graduating or something. It was never casual. Even when we did see each other, it was never casual. It was never for fun or friendly or that.
So true. It's just the nomenclature. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. The nomenclature. Like that's the hardest part, I think. And he was talking about how like people who like walked away years ago and don't even think about it anymore. They still use the terms. That stuff still comes up. And are we going to give L. Ron Hubbard credit for being such a good programmer? Such a good brainwasher.
He definitely was that. He was very good at it. That's for sure.
Oh, they. People need to study this in order to avoid it.
When I first left, I met this really cool woman who she got sued by the church numerous times. They harassed her. She was awesome. And she stays like undercover now. She doesn't do anything because she was harassed so badly. She just like became quiet. But when we were talking, I guess certain words came out of Scientology of my mouth. And she was like, wow. She was like, I'm just tripping out because some of these words I haven't thought about in so long. But when you say it, it just comes right back to me. And it really gave me something to like look forward to. Because the way the brain works, it's always making these new channels, and you can move away from these words.
And then when some words come back in other contexts too, and you're like, oh, I don't want to hear that word.
Yes, yeah.
Just the idea of an IRS audit, like even that, like hearing.
Oh my God, no! They keep calling it the protesters. They keep calling them Scientology auditors, and I'm like, I get it. That's like the term for you guys who are trying to audit Scientology, but it's super like
they're audit. Oh, right, like testing a class, like sitting in our class audit. Oh, that's right. Perth audit or something, right? Isn't that one of them?
But
and so they're using that word a different way, and you're like, wait, what?
But it's super triggering. I'm like,
somebody said to me, have a good session the other day about something else. I was like, what?
Oh, okay. And you were
I'm
just
not gonna
like,
oh. Like that, the idea of having a session, going into session.
My needle will not be floating.
Leave my needle out of this, you dirty scoundrels. Solid bastard. So now I feel like we should, now I feel like I should ask you questions. So what is... I can't remember what he even had.
No, don't suck check me like your brother.
I know, right? No, I fucked up. I conflated TRs and tone scale because I was saying tone 40, but I meant intention. I meant that like in that TR's intention thing. But I was saying tone 40. But that's the that's the tone scale. That's Tom Cruise jumping up and down on Oprah Winfrey's couch.
Yeah,
that's tone 40.
You were using it
right?
correctly. You were using it like an old Scientologist would and be like,
I was using it like an old Scientologist would. Yeah, that's it.
Totally tone 40.
So tone 40. 0 tone 40.
So, oh my God. I have some exciting news. I have 24 hours of watch time until people can buy memberships to my channel, and I get to make like personal emoticons and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
So hopefully that happens this week, and then I have another 1,000 hours until we get commercials, which is where we actually kind of make a little bit of money.
Right. No, I think I'm kind of I don't know yet. I have to look at that, and then you have to like make like paywall stuff. Like I have to make music probably. Will probably work for me.
Yeah.
And somebody's asking already if I'm going to play anything today. Yes, I intend to. I intend to play something today, unless my fingers fall off in the next half an hour.
He always plays it. And then this person the other day was saying that I punched my boyfriend in the face and went viral for it. But I'd like to know about that. Because I've never punched a man in the face.
Did you? Well, maybe Granny T is thinking of a different Vanessa.
I'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, I don't know. Punch him. Did he deserve it?
It sounds cool. I mean, obviously he deserved it. I would love to be able to land a punch on someone if they've talked shit. It's on YouTube. Send me the link, please. Granny,
we don't know. We actually don't know what you're talking about. We really don't. So, I'm already stupid. I don't gotta act.
Yeah, we have trolls, and I guess we're not supposed to feed the trolls, right? That's the saying.
Or stay off of Reddit, that's for sure. Or what is Discord, and why would anyone go there?
Discord, I used it for school.
It sounds like a bad place.
It does sound like a bad place. I actually read the Reddit stuff because there's a lot of crazy shit on there, and I've always used Reddit, but there's a lot of people who don't like SPTV, that's for sure.
Here's how I deal with a troll. Yes, Vanessa hits boys. That's what she does. It's her favorite thing in the world. She hits me every time I see her. So let's lay that one to rest now.
Don't you hit boys?
Yes, Granny, we're saying it's true and it doesn't matter. Get over it, small-minded person, please.
Yes. Well, we do have the power to time people out if we want to. We don't have to, but we can if we would like to. Somebody made a rude comment before about ex-boyfriend of mine, and I had to time them out when we were talking before, but we rarely time people out or kick them out.
I'm sure you have interesting relationships. You were talking about when you were a kid and you were getting auditing and talking about somebody that were you in a relationship with that person and they were not being good to you, right? Is that the deal? And you were sticking with it because you thought you had a past life relationship, right?
Yeah, for like a decade.
Right. And then nobody says to you, maybe Vanessa, you don't need to be seeing that person. Maybe that's not a good relationship for you.
Nobody was like, hey, this is what a narcissist is.
Right.
Because
and so
we
like
were taught to be narcissistic.
Right. And we were taught to be loyal in some blind, stupid way. You're just supposed to stick with these people no matter what, even if they're destroying you. Which we now know is codependency. There's a lot of codependency in Scientology. It's built into the framework. So, abusive relationships have been something I've wandered into a number of times, and people get hit.
Yeah.
I got my ass beat.
I have a bad picker. Like, I don't pick.
Well, that's what I mean. The habit becomes we all got set up with a bad basis of family and connection and 2D, right? The 2D, right?
Yeah.
Already that is fucked. Our definition of what that means, whether it be boyfriend, girlfriend, mother, or father, all of those definitions are fucked. And so, I've spent a lot of time being in relationships with people romantically and platonically that were toxic and unnecessary because they were familiar, because they were what I thought I deserved. There's various reasons why people continue the habits of abuse.
Well, so much shit we heard about the 2D was just like false, like just completely bonkers. So our basis, like you said, is just like shitty to begin with.
And I've seen that recently in the network, people going back to certain words and going, what is a friend? Because we're taught weird ideas about what these things mean. And they're not good and they're not sane. I said that to my therapist today and she was like, oh, that's not good. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Every once in a while, she's a little like put back by some of this stuff. She's like, whoa, what did he say? Well,
I'm super lucky. I get to go to a cult specialist. And so she thankfully isn't super surprised by too much bad shit.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah, that must be a trip. They offered that. The foundation, there's some guy from the foundation who I didn't know, some new person they hired, and he introduced himself, and he sounded like a reg, and he that's what he was selling. He was offering cult specific therapy. He asked me, he says, do you think that would be helpful to you? And I said, I really have no idea. I'm not even sure what that is. And that was kind of the end of the conversation. So I'm not really sure what that meant, if there was really an actual offer there, or if he was just I don't know, but could have been your former co-streamer. What does that even mean? Do you think I have a former co-streamer? I think Randy's confused. I think she thinks we're both different people. She thinks you're the other degraded daughter. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Or she thinks maybe it was Alicia who was viral for it. But I
don't know.
I want to say thank you for Crafts for signing up and for listening to both of us. That's super cool.
That's cool.
And then this person answered, no, Vanessa did. Okay, whatever. Discord is a group of message forums, but you can go on camera in video chat rooms like Zoom, but it costs nothing. It's a standard all bells and whistles chat thing. Very handy.
Okay. No, that makes sense. Okay. So it's a big chat thing, but like what I always hear from that space is this kind of crazy talk. Yeah. Is conspiracy theories or, you know, whatever it is. Well, yes, I mean, Granny, we got it. Granny, we got it. Your communication has been received and duplicated.
How much?
I got that. Thank you.
Don't let the trolls get to you.
I don't mind trolls. I think they're funny because trolls are fundamentally tiny little people with nothing better to do. Think about that.
Well, these
are people have nothing better to do. Or it could be Osa, it could be a robot.
Like we're under a very different. I don't want to be the one who's always like, oh, it's Osa.
It is true.
But at the same time, so much on Discord, so much on Reddit, so much in these chat boards are Osa trying to fuck us up. So like,
I'm sure.
We can't.
You can tell because they sound like such squares.
Yeah.
Elia. Again, I don't see. This is what makes it. This is what makes you discredible, Granny. If it was true, you said it, and then of course I would look it up. But now you keep pushing it, so that makes it sound like you're lying. It makes it sound like you have an agenda. So I don't know what that is. That's you though. That's on you.
I would love to take credit for punching men.
I don't. I don't think that women should be allowed to punch men because some women think it's okay because women are the weaker sex, as it were, and men are very abusive in that sense, and it's an imbalance. But some women can, I've been beat up by women, so it's not like it doesn't happen, and it's not like a woman cannot be an abuser in that sense. But and in California, they recognize.
You're a big guy too, though. Like
Claire beat me up because I wouldn't hit back. That's the thing. As a man, you can't really hit back. So a woman who wants to hurt you will do that because she can get away with it. And not that most women would do that. Most 99% women, I don't think would even think of it, but there are women who do. We got that, honey. You're starting to sound like a mental patient.
She's timed out.
Oh, okay. So Renee is telling me the Granny T is a well-known troll on the SPT.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rebel.
I saw her the other day. She was in. Actually, we were in.
How's that 50 a week?
I know. We were in Dodge's chat together, and she was saying that, and I was like, "Why are you guys trolling me?" And Dodge was like, "Don't troll Vanessa, motherfuckers." But that's just what the game is on YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Like in my day, if you didn't like something on the TV, you had to get up off your ass and change the channel. Now people like they fuck it, and you did. That's what I'm saying. You took on the responsibility. I don't want to watch this, so I'm not going to watch this. I'm going to watch something else. Nowadays, people like search stuff. They search the internet to find things to complain about. Like this isn't for you. If you don't like what we're talking about, don't come here. We don't want you. Go away. Don't come here to complain about something nobody asked you to look at. It's
Has
ridiculous.
Your $50 a week though?
Because, I know. I thought that was cute.
The rice and beans.
The rice and beans. Just cutting
delicious, I'm sure.
Beans and rice. That's nice. Oh, yeah.
Have you heard from anybody from your past, like since we've been doing this, or has anybody reached out?
You mean California past?
Yeah, or just in Scientology.
Like Scientology past? No, I've heard from some AA people. Some AA people from my
that's
past
cool.
Have popped up lately and found this. There's actually a friend of mine who I'm going to do a chat with, who's an AA person. Kind of cross over these conversations. Because the AA stuff I think is very applicable. I think that all of us could use some AA, some good old fashioned recovery, as it were. I have not really heard from anybody like California people, Scientology people like I grew up with yet, except for people I had already heard from, like Renee. But I'm going to. There's a couple people in particular I want to find and look up and get. All right, Granny T is gone. Oh. Honestly, I hate banning people. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I try really hard not to do it.
Yeah, I don't really ban people either, unless they're like known people who are in Zero Dark Dumbasses chat.
Look, she makes a comment. Them. I responded to it, and she kept going. That makes her a troll.
Yeah.
There was another another person came on one of our chats once and said some shit, and I acknowledged it, and then she stopped. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's fine. That's not trolling to me. She said what she said, and I got that. Thank you. Move on. But that person just kept coming back. Oh no! Oh, Alex!
Look who it is.
Alex posted a thing the other day about the IS tent. Putting up the big tent for the IS event in the UK, and he put up a video of this footage of them putting up the tent. And I remember these tents. And I have a song called "The Big Tent." We're taking the big tent down. We're taking this big tent down, digging old bones out of the ground, abandoning the mission, and sending the clowns. And I swear, I was like, oh, I gotta sing that song for the IS event.
Good.
Thank you,
were
Alex.
putting the tents up at the church or what? For the event,
at St. Hill. St. Hill. I think it's St. Hill. Alex is in England, so I'm gonna assume it's St. Hill. I remember how magical that seemed to me as a child. St. Hill, this distant castle somewhere.
I know, right?
Apparently, it was built in the 80s. Apparently, it's not even a castle. It's just built to look like a castle so that he could get through some building permit loophole.
What?
It's not even really a castle.
It was supposed to be like an ancient fairy tale castle.
Alex says he'll play the song of the protest. Yeah.
He says it was built in the 60s. Okay, but still, I thought it was built in like a.
It's not a 17th century thing like castles generally are. It's a lie. See, everything about Scientology is a lie.
How does this person keep getting back in here?
Well, what I think is funny about this sort of thing is like the fact that we don't want to engage with her because she's being rude and weird doesn't register. She assumes we don't want to engage because we're guilty. Oh, we're guilty. Yeah. It's very Scientology. True. So I'm going to go ahead and assume this person is a Scientologist because she's certainly operating on some Scientology data.
Might have failed the first time.
Okay, here we go. How did I feel about the chat with Jamie or after? I have a half sister who I grew up with on rare occasions, and we are not in contact. I got to say, it was kind of, it's an interesting thing. When I first got sober, there was a specific event. I can't remember exactly, but there was a moment there where I reached out to everybody. I reached out to all my siblings and said, I need help. I need family. The thing that comes back to you in recovery and home when you're coming off the streets is family connection and yeah. And the importance of community and fellowship. Fellowship is a big thing in AA. And so all these things come up a lot. And so I made a point of reaching out to some of these people and saying, I need some family. I need some help. That's why I struggle so hard, is because none of you people seem to give a shit. Yeah. And you're supposed to. And he was the only one that really took me up on the offer. He was the only one that really started talking to me. And we just, started talking about stuff, mostly about music. We argue. We always argue. I think it's funny how we argue.
You're very similar.
Yeah, it's very interesting how we're so very similar in certain ways, and I think really, really different in other ways. Yeah. Like he does not want to believe in the spiritual being at all. He does not want to believe that anything to do with anything of that, and I do. Yeah. So
that's what makes for an interesting conversation.
And I like that we can argue and not like get all fucking, some people you say, I think you're wrong, and they lose, they fall apart on the spot. They fall on the floor like a puddle of water, and you're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know it was so bad to be wrong. Is Granny T really back?
I don't know how this keeps happening.
Who is this person?
We can ignore it. Maybe they have other accounts named the same thing.
There is an option to ban user and delete their comments. Should I do that?
I tried it before. Yeah.
Sorry.
Hi,
Sorry, Granny. You. Hi, Amber. Amber and I are going to do one of these live streams too. She remembers stuff about the Shangri-La.
Oh, I can't wait.
I want to do a whole thing with the girls of Shangri-La. There's a whole bunch of girls you could pull in on that conversation. It'd be fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Jamie... Okay, here's a question. Mr. Anderson says, do you think Jamie wanted to say no? You won't answer any questions about organization stand. Oh, was he trying to get me to like walk out of the session to blow the session? He certainly was being, there certainly seems to be a certain amount of antagonism to it, but I think that's just the way these things are delivered. There's a lot of, particularly the men who used to be in the Sea Org, who still shout at people like they're in the Sea Org, because that's what everybody does in the Sea Org. They're constantly shouting at everybody. Everything is so fucking hypertension and urgent. And there's still people that still talk to each other like that. No, not Fat Grammy. Never. We love Fat. We love Fat Grammy. There was a Granny T. Granny T was just going on and on about it. I don't mind people talking shit, but what are you gonna do? Fill the chat with your shit talk? That's boring. We heard it already. Everybody else sucks. We get it, Granny T. We all suck. We know we suck. That's why we're here trying to repair.
We just join you on our adventure. Hi, Professor Kakan. Good to see you too.
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
I saw her at CC once. Shaka Khan was there with an entourage of big, gigantic, beautiful men, and they were just standing at reception. I came in to deliver a parcel, an envelope to somebody.
A parcel.
And no, she was lovely. She was just standing there being adorable, and she just kind of smiled. I was like, I shocked. I looked at her and went, oh my God. And she just smiled at me like, hi.
Wow.
Her big security guy gave me a little nod too. They were very sweet.
That's really cool.
I don't imagine she did these. I don't think she was doing services. I think maybe she was just there because Isaac Hayes probably said, come in and do a tour.
Mm-hmm.
That was always the thing. Come in and do a tour. Come in and do a tour of the CC.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I think yes. Treasure Bloke. We did block her, and it also
we banned her like 3 times,
and she kept coming back. So she's got powers. We gotta watch that one.
Oh, Alex says.
She was. Shaka Khan was a Scientologist. All right, I didn't know that.
Say what?
I just saw her the one time, but
for some reason, that's what me and my niece call each other, Shaka.
Shaka.
Like
Shaka
for Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
She's the coolest, but I guess she was a Sino.
That's so sad. No, she's fine. She's fine. Shaka Khan, I'm sure she's fine. And then you know who I would love to talk to is what's his name? Oh, fuck it. Barrett Oliver.
Yeah.
Remember him, the kid from Neverending Story?
Yeah.
Because I think he lived. Yeah, and I think he lived at the Shangri-La at one point.
Wow.
Yeah. He was a Scientologist. He grew up in Scientology. He was born and raised in Scientology, and he took off a long time ago. He makes pots or something. He makes artesian wooden contact lenses or something in the woods somewhere. And so he's totally opted for a kind of off the grid kind of life, is what I'm saying. But I'd be interested to hear. I would be interested to hear what he has to say. He looks like one of those guys that comes out of the mountains to sell Christmas trees at Christmas time.
It'd be so cool to have a Shangri-La reunion somehow. Like, I don't know how it would happen, but it would be.
Somebody would have to be there. Somebody would have to go to the pool room instead of right. Yeah, somebody would have to be in the building. But I think you told me that the church bought the Shangri-La.
I didn't say that.
No, somebody did. Somebody told me that they bought the Shangri-La, and which was funny.
There's still like rentals on the rental sites and stuff. So,
well, I think they still run it as a apartment building. Well, because it was the Shangri-La was in receivership the entire time I lived there, but my mother was the manager, so it was losing money the whole time. And
when we were there last year at the protest, I tried to go in, and it looked like some kind of staff member ran and shut the door.
Oh.
Like the gate was kind of open if I was going to go through the driveway where the gate was. and I was like walking that way, and the guy who came out like made sure it shut so we couldn't go in. I was like, that's not cool.
So special smudge. Yeah,
Mhm.
Mr. Anderson again was mentioning that Mitch had talked about Barrett Oliver because Barrett Oliver had run off with the groundskeeper's wife
Oh,
at
shit.
some point at Cold Base.
Jackson was security.
Okay, security. So
Yeah.
Jackson told this story, or Mitch may have retold it, I forget.
Crazy.
But apparently Barrett was trying to leave, and he'd been trying to leave for a while. And I don't remember how, but for some reason he got
Scientology or the Sea Org?
I don't both. The Gold Base. I don't know exactly.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember
so
exactly.
He was in the Sea Org then.
Yeah, he was in the Sea Org. And yeah, he ended up shacking up with this guy's wife, and they were going to run off together, and they literally did run away at some point together, and they had to be caught and captured. Yeah, no, well, you know, they really wanted to hang on to him. Remember, there was this whole thing about lack of talent at the Gold Base. Mitch is always on about how none of them knew how to do anything, and of course, they were all following LRH ideas about filmmaking, and he knew nothing. He knew nothing. He literally knew nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he was in the series. Yeah, that's Barrett Oliver.
Jackson's like one of my favorite people ever. That sucks his wife cheated on him.
I'm sorry, I just want to say he should have stuck to writing Falcor. Amen to that. We need our childlike empress back. There's a guy in the Lower East Side used to call me that, childlike empress, and I used to call him Atreyu.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was super hipster kind of shit. But
Daniel and Jamie were fun. Yeah, quite sex checky.
Quite sex checky. I was right. I was totally like, this is like a sex check or something. I don't know. What are your evil purposes? What are your evil purposes?
I always think of Kakan's status when I see Professor Kakan, right? The Scientology term.
Right. Or Kubla. Oh, is it Kakan? I was thinking Kubla Khan this whole time. Kakan, right.
Oh, I think it's Kakan.
I think you're right. I'm glad when I'm wrong. I don't give a shit. Like he was all on me about. I didn't know the third party thing was always. I didn't know it was always. It just seemed like an excuse people always use.
No, it really was quite suck chucky. That was pretty funny.
But
you guys had a lot of viewers. I was watching the whole time. You had a shit ton of viewers. I think that was a good time for you to go on. It was like,
and I think people like that, this sort of like, and particularly because so much of this recovery stuff, it was particularly in Scientology, is about family stuff. And so like getting family to talk to people, like, I don't know. I think we should see more siblings on here.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Peter says DM directed the breakup of Jackson and his wife. This was Jackson's breakup.
Serenity of beingness. I'm sorry, I was reading the other comment. I'm sorry. Yeah, breaking point for Jackson. Yeah, he seemed lovely. Yeah, somebody there said Jackson was lovely. Yeah, he seemed like a lovely man.
Jackson was
and completely done in by it. Like he's just like, I was just doing the right thing and doing my job and keeping my nose clean, and then all of a sudden the world blew up. Yeah. He seems like he was really done wrong too.
Yeah, when I went to Gold Base with Liz Ferris to try to see her dad, Jackson was like he kept checking in on me. He told me like exactly like, make sure you bring water, make sure this, like, it was really nice. He's a really kind dude. I'm glad he's actually back on YouTube again, you guys. He's been making videos lately.
Cool. I am glad. I'm glad to hear more of the good guys are prevailing.
Yeah. How's your baby doing?
She's good. Did I tell you she chewed up a shoe? Did I tell you that?
When you were on with Jamie?
Oh, I'm so disappointed in that girl. I'm so upset. She's never done that before. And she chewed up a shoe while I was online with Jamie. Maybe she didn't like hearing me and Jamie argue.
Yeah, she didn't like the vibe.
She could feel the sex checky vibes.
Yeah, she was like, you seem super nervous. I'm really like curious.
She hates it when I sit here. It's like she wants the attention. She wants attention, right? That's what dogs do. They always want your attention. And then like turning your back to the dog is like one of those things that really upsets a dog.
Yeah.
And so I'm not meaning to turn my back to her, except that she can't sit right there. So
yeah. My dogs are behind me.
She just doesn't like it. She doesn't like it. We give her a lot of attention. She's very pampered.
Yes. She's what, like a year and old now?
She's a year and a half now. She'll be 2 in we're not really sure, to be honest. But February, we think will be.
Oh, nice.
I'm not certain though. We don't know. We're not even sure what breed she is anymore. We thought she was a pit bull mix, a pit bull chocolate lab. That's what we were told.
Mhm.
And now I'm kind of thinking she might be a Staffordshire. And just because a lot of people in the neighborhood keep saying that, they're like, "No, that's a Staffordshire. She's not pit bull." And
you got to get on that dog DNA site.
yeah, I don't know which is better or worse. I have no idea. I don't know which is preferred. I don't know if it's Staffordshire.
We met my dog's twin brother off of it. Same DNA, same litter, everything. We went and hung out and we had a play date. It was the coolest thing ever.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that idea of reuniting puppies. Oh, that's great. Remember, you were born together. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's wild. Oh yeah, I should do that. Yeah, I'll find out she's descended from queens.
Like real queens or like queens?
Yeah, or Freddie Mercury. Is anybody find me somebody to love?
I wanted to do a show watching you and Jamie. Yeah, I think we all wanted to.
We're all gonna chew on a shoe. Just I don't have that many shoes.
It was a little tense at times, that's for sure. But it was also very entertaining. I didn't want to change the channel. I was like,
I don't know. I think mustards are kind of intense people, to be honest. I can't think of anyone who any of them who isn't. We're all pretty intense. His aunts are all pretty intense too.
Yeah, he was all, "I'll just host your show for you."
Yeah, that was so funny to me. And he's like, "Well, you're no Dick Cavett." I'm like, "Well, I'm not trying to be Dick Cavett." It's like you're no Lois Lane, Jamie, but you're not trying to be Lois Lane.
That's not really our style to be like, "Welcome to our weekly show.
We have a really good show. Really good show for you tonight."
Yeah.
That's Ed Sullivan. Really good shoe. Really good shoe. Oh, the dog is chewing on the shoe. The really good shoe.
I like the format of like how Claire's is very like coming to you weekly. It's like a news show. Like I think that's really cute. They put a lot of effort into it and stuff.
Yeah, they for the most part seem to be kind of like modeling themselves off like anchors. Yeah, like news anchors or talk show hosts.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm trying to be a talk show host.
I just don't have that kind of time right now.
I don't have that time.
I'm in grad school.
Well, I still want to be a singer-songwriter. I just want to be a singer-songwriter who talks shit on the internet. Can I do that? Some of them do that, right?
Spicy mustards.
23 million people on Earth have the surname Khan. Yeah, I bet. Because Genghis Khan was very prolific.
Who's Dusty Soda Dispenser? Hi.
I've seen that one. Hi, Dusty Soda Dispenser. I believe this is a Poe and the Go fan. I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
His thing looks like Pose.
It reminds me of Pose. That's probably why I'm thinking that. Yeah. Daniel, my brother, you are older than me. Do you still feel the pain of the scars that won't heal? That's an Elton John song, and of course, it has my name, so I know that. I know that song.
The other sad song is about Daniel too.
Which sad? Danny Boy. Which sad song?
Like, isn't it like Tears in Heaven or one of those like really
Tears in Heaven?
ballads?
That's Eric Clapton.
Yeah,
and that's about his son. His son fell off a balcony and died.
Yeah,
and that's what that song is
about.
Oh, I don't know. Is a son called Daniel? Maybe. I don't know. I don't remember.
I don't know. There's another song, sad Daniel song.
There's Danny boy, the pipes are calling from glen to glen and down the mountainside.
Oh, there is that.
It's a classic, or something like that. No.
It's Danny boy.
The pipes are calling.
How's New York City right now?
It's better. It's not so hot. The humidity is tempered, and it's actually been kind of decent last few days. Labor Day was nice. It was even chilly the other night. I had to put on a hoodie. I love it when I can put on a hoodie.
Yeah. It's still hot as hell out here in the desert, but it's looking good. It's looking better.
Not enough songs with Amber in it, says Amber. There's Amber Waves of Grain. That's,
There's 311 Amber. Amber is the color of your energy.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure she knows that song, of course.
Yeah. Oh, here, I got Lenny Bruce on today. So we want to see Lenny Bruce. And it's another off-brand. It says Lenny Bruce is not afraid. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. It says on the bottom. I'm not standing up. Anyway, it's an REM song. It's a song from an REM. It's a lyric from an REM song. Lenny Bruce is not afraid. I have a hurricane. Listen to yourself. So it's not a Lenny Bruce official T-shirt. It's definitely a bootleg shirt.
Well, we support bootlegs around here. Thank you, Treasure Bloke. I would like to know if there's any Vanessa songs. I don't think there are.
Wait, what does it say? I missed that. I didn't see it.
He said any Vanessa songs, consulting internet.
Oh.
So I hope we get one, but
I'll have to write one.
Yeah, that'd be great. You know, I was actually named after Vanessa Williams,
the tennis player.
The
singer. Oh, used to be Miss America, right?
Yeah, she was Miss America sometimes, the year I was born.
There we go. Sometimes the snow falls down in June, and she was the shamed Miss America because she did nudie pics, and she got didn't she get her crown revoked? But she didn't let that stop her. Do you see this? Do you see what she did? She went, "Fuck you, then I'll be a pop star. You're not gonna stop me."
I guess I gotta hear this Grimes song.
Grimes does one. Grimes does what? A Vanessa song. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually listened to Grimes. Have you?
Say what? No. I know grime as a style of music. Like there's a style of British hip hop called grime.
It's the chick who had Elon.
I know, and she married Elon Musk.
Right?
I know who she is. I don't think I've ever heard of that. But the first time I heard of her, I thought they were talking about grime, which is also a style.
No, I've never heard of that music style.
Well, it's like British hip hop. Like they took American hip hop and they have a British version of hip hop, like Massive Attack or something like that. Not Massive Attack. Yeah. There's a couple, but it doesn't matter. But they call it grime. UK grime is what it's called.
Oh, interesting. Grimy.
And that's it. Yeah, that's all grimy. Yeah, that's the point. So you're calling yourself grimy, lady. That's what she's calling herself.
So I have a question. What are you doing for the holidays?
God, whenever somebody says that to me, I always have to say, what holiday? Is there a holiday? Didn't we just pass a holiday? Labor Day just happened, didn't it?
No,
you mean like Thanksgiving, Christmas. And I have a longstanding frustration with Christmas because it's my birthday. Mm-hmm. And my birthday often goes ignored or forgotten, or it's an afterthought. Yeah. Because it's Christmas and that's what everybody's on about. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas. Oh yeah, it's your birthday. Yeah. So, Renee, who was on here, she's the only person who ever threw me a birthday party.
Aww.
And like it's like literally like the year we went to my sister was living in Vegas, one of my sisters, and we all went to Vegas to have Christmas at her place. And the night, it was Christmas Eve, and they ran out to a grocery store to buy a sheet cake, a German chocolate sheet cake, and tried to pretend like that was, like that's how much they forgot. So, I don't like Christmas.
Yeah.
I don't like the obligation of gift giving. I think it's a weird game. Like you have to give people things, even if you can't imagine what they might want. And then you end up giving people stupid things they don't want. I remember the Christmas that me and my brother-in-law, David, we gave each other the same it was just a bunch of games in one, bunch of board games in one, kind of like a gift for anybody kind of thing you get at Costco. And we gave each other the same thing, the same gift you give to somebody you don't really know.
That's funny.
It's like, oh, there you go. My sister Wendy used to send me fancy things like fancy pears and things like that, but she doesn't.
Oh, that's cute. I love that Henry David stuff.
Yeah, that stuff. Yeah. Executive gifts. What I would joke is that they were executive gifts. This mug was from her too.
Oh.
And it keeps hot things very hot, and it keeps cold things very cold.
Do you go to your significant other's family's house or something like that?
I have not done that in many, many, many years. Oh, wow. I don't even know. Well, no, they're Muslim, so I don't imagine so.
Oh,
Now I think about it, no, there will be no Christmas at the Harris Drain home.
Yeah,
There will be no
don't.
Christmas. Yeah, they don't do Christmas. So no. CSW.
So Alex put in a CSW to my local org around here.
Okay. For what?
He had to go to start a 2D with me.
Wait, this is now or when? When what?
No, this was a few months ago, but I keep telling him that the CSW is up lines because that's what I hear.
Wait, you're talking euphemistically, and I'm missing it.
No, I'm actually being serious.
Oh, okay. I don't get it. To whom are you? Wait, CSW is a request for something,
Alex
right?
So Alex didn't want to go. It all started because he didn't want to go home. Like he was so depressed when he was leaving the US to go.
Oh, when he was still in LA. Okay.
Yeah. And then he was like, well, there's always marriage on the table. And I was like, I don't know, bro. You're going to have to CSW. So.
Oh, so the CSW is his request. I see.
Yeah. Yeah. But it had to go to the Joshua Tree org.
It has to go through Bruno Mars. Bruno Mars
no, he actually typed up a CSW, and it was the funniest thing I ever read. I was like, "This is what we do in our spare time, right? Like joke CSW."
About making CSWs.
Yeah. So Alex, you might be coming back to America. We'll let you know how it goes.
He's adorable.
Yes, Alex is great. He
is adorable.
Like, literally so helpful since I started on YouTube. He's been like my tech guy and just helped with everything. Oh, room raid.
He's a sweet guy. What happened?
Club Brain Fog.
Oh, Club Brain Fog. Yay.
Cool. Who's Brain Fog? Do you know them?
I think they're a protester in San Francisco.
Oh, cool. Room raid is where everybody comes over when somebody ends their stream.
Right. Yeah. Club Brain Fog actually room raided something else. I don't remember if it was one of our somebody's. I forget because I remember them coming up before.
That's cool. Was it like you and Pose, or maybe it was you and Jamie's? I think I saw that too.
Might have. I don't remember. I think Nora sent room raid people over to me and Jamie, but I think most of those people logged into the first link that was nothing.
I was waiting on the first link for quite a while before I found the next one. Okay.
Because I just kept opening new streams, thinking that would make it work, and I didn't realize that then puts another link on the page. Oh fuck no, it's no good. Well, happy birthday, Crafts, Chats, and Catastrophe.
Yeah, you guys celebrate the month. You need a whole month. I always have a birthday bush instead of a Christmas tree. That sounds dirty.
Especially if you're from the 70s. The bush.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. That means something completely different than what y'all think. When people used to have a bush. Oh, I miss the bush. Those were the days.
I don't.
I like body hair. Some people don't. I think it's bizarre. I know a lot of men who shave off all their body hair. I think it's very peculiar, but it's common. It's much more common than I thought.
Yeah.
How about in the chat? Who knows men that shave off their body hair, their armpits even? They shave their legs, shave their arms. Like it's so bizarre to me.
But you know what? Some guys are so hairy, it's disgusting.
Yes. God, there was a guy in the building. There was a guy in the building who was so hairy, and he would shave like his arms down from where his sleeve was, and he would pay kids in the building to do this. And they'd be up on the balcony.
Ew. Oh my God, Scientology, we're so weird. Why was that allowed?
Because Scientology kids have really high confront, and they're not bugged out by body issues.
Yeah.
They're not bodies. Yeah, it's all about that confront.
Amber, Your son's going to be 24? That's wild.
Chest and stomach and leg hair, says Treasure Book. I'm sorry. Your son's going to be 24. Go fuck yourself, Amber, because all that does is remind me how goddamn old I am. No way. There's no way. 24.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, no. We're so
That
old.
just fucked you up.
You're
right
not
now.
old, Vanessa.
I feel old. I just had a birthday. I'm 37 years old.
Well, happy birthday. 37's cool, though.
Yeah.
You know, 40 is supposed to be an age of enlightenment for women.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
so I would say look forward to it. It's unfortunate that in the American context, women get less credit as they get older, when really they should be given more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, Rebel. God, Renee tells me her son's going to be 30. Yeah, but Renee, you had yours a little early. Do I remember Shaggy? No, as in Shaggy and Scooby? No, that's not what she means, I'm sure. But no, I don't. I remember Shaggy of Shaggy and Scooby.
Like Shaggy, like it wasn't me. Like that Shaggy?
That's everybody. Oh, that's Scientology. Wasn't me. I'm responsible for my condition except for this.
Alex is a baby.
He's going to be 30. That's why he's so terrible. He's young.
Yeah. Do all the things before you turn 30, Alex.
Yeah, do all 30. You have till 32 to do all the things. Alex looks like an old man already, though, but in a cute way. But like that's very English. It's a very English man sort of thing to do.
Yeah,
he's 29,
like
but
grown ass man.
Yeah, but he looks like looks like he's got grandkids. Not that he looks old, just that he looks mature or something. Anyway, it's an American perception of Englishmen. Like John Atack could be 150 for all I know.
Yeah.
Say what?
Alex has grandkids. That makes me laugh.
What do you say?
Number one on my list is get married to an American girl. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah. Well, you have not that many months left to accomplish that. I have yet to receive a bouquet of flowers or anything.
I know a couple of lovely crackheads on the block might take you up on your offer.
He doesn't want to go to New York.
Just any American girl will do. Well, just any American girl do. I know some American men might be interested, Alex. You're awfully cute.
We might be able to do it. Let's hook you up.
And it's legal now, so.
That's funny. Fat Grammy said her son is 37 too. I could be your mom. Oh, well, we have lots of like surrogate moms on here. I feel like since coming on YouTube, seriously, there's just people out there who are sweet and supportive. And that's just the best part of this whole thing is because we don't have like those people in our lives. So to meet people who are real adults and moms and good parents,
or mothers mother figures who care and nurture, and father figures who protect and give advice and don't just shame you for being wrong. Let's see. Okay, Shaggy lived in the apartment. We got to do a Shangri-La episode. We just have to. Shaggy lived in apartments. He was very hairy all over the place. Everyone called him Shaggy. He was the first person that ever gave me alcohol. Oh my God. There was a lot of that. I remember the first time I was given my own can of beer. I think I was 8 or 9. It glowed like a holy object. In Secret of Nim when he levitates that medallion into her hands. Yeah, there were a lot of big parties around that pool area, and there was a lot of drinking and a lot of.
Do you remember bobbing for apples in the community room on Halloween?
I probably was the one instructing. Memories. I was probably the one telling the kids, "Stick your head in there." I was probably the one running.
I have pictures, and you're in it.
I'm so sorry. Oh. I'm so sorry that I have to poison your
childhood. My uncle sent me something this week. I have to show you.
There she is. Look at those bangs, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness.
That was your little buddy when we knew
you had the best hair too. And of course your mother took such good care of your hair. Vanessa, that was the best. That was the best thing about Vanessa. She had the best, like the hair, and her mother was a hairstylist, so it somehow just worked out so beautifully.
I turned out a hairstylist too.
There you go. And you got hair, and you're a beautiful vamp. I still don't remember
than
this.
the nice little girl you knew.
Well, it's
the
like I
bang.
think about that, and it's like, you know, you were kind of you seemed unapproachable. Like you seemed like you were like a porcelain doll, like everybody had to be careful of. Does that make sense?
Oh, I
And
love
that's
that.
probably, is that a good thing? I don't know if that's a good thing.
Hey, they didn't talk to me. That's what I wanted.
Yeah, but some of those people, not me included, it would have been better if more of us had talked to you.
Yeah, true. I do remember hanging out with the older kids sometimes, and going to the jacuzzi and being like, "Ooh, I'm bad." Like, there were plenty of options to hang out with, but I was also really sensitive and shy, so I think I had to,
Reserved.
we were so guarded growing up, and
sheltered. It's very sheltered, and it's a very weird thing to point out, growing up in Hollywood and somehow still being sheltered like that.
Yeah,
but it's true.
you're like in a bubble.
And you know, it's a lot of like weird things that came up when I came to New York too, like, because the New Yorkers, they'll just say to you, like, that's crazy what you just said. You know what I mean? Like in LA, people like play it off. Oh, it's funny. No, like in New York, some people just like, that was nuts. What you just said, that was fucking nuts. Just so you know, that was fucking like, so you know.
Yeah,
I love that.
good.
Just so you know. Just so you know, you're crazy.
Yeah, that's fucking nuts.
But I didn't know, and I still don't sometimes, but I really didn't. When I first came to New York, I had no idea what a weirdo I was. I thought everybody else was crazy, right?
Did you see that, speaking of New Yorkers, did you see that Leah and Angela were getting divorced?
Yeah, I did.
They've been together since I was a little kid.
It's not some horrible thing. They're like beating each other up, are they?
No, but I'm really surprised because they were, together for a long time, but their daughter just went off to college, and I think a lot of couples might stay together, for the kid.
A lot of people do that. Stay together until the kid flies the coop, and then my aunt did that. Yeah. She stayed with her horrible husband until the two boys were old enough to go, and then she took the daughter, and she left.
Yeah. But now her and her best friend J-Lo are both single. J-Lo's dad's a Scientologist.
No, really? Yes. Jenny on the block, J-Lo?
Yes.
Nah. Yes. I can't imagine New Yorkers going for that.
Like, I believe he's even maybe in the Sea Org, because he's always at CC. Yes. Nobody talks about this, but that's why, like, her and Leah are so close. Yes. And she gets special privileges. Like, she still gets to talk to him, even though she talks to Leah.
Wow.
Yes. Like, her dad, Diego Lopez, is a hard.
That means we could get Ben Affleck and Matt Damon to make a movie about Scientology. Because if J-Lo's father is a Scientologist, that means Ben Affleck knows some things. That would be interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, he loves getting movies made about weird things.
I love them, as I loved Good Will Hunting.
Well, Good Will Hunting was genius. The Good Will Hunting story. Thank you for reminding me. This is a peripheral Scientology story about the Beverly Hills Playhouse, which was an acting school owned and operated by a guy called Milton Gonzalez, who was a longtime Scientologist and friend of L. Ron Hubbard. And there was a teacher there. I don't remember her name, but somebody put up a scene from Good Will Hunting. It's the scene at the end of the movie where Robin Williams' character is telling Matt Damon that it's not his fault. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. What happened to you was not your fault, right? And it's a powerful scene in the movie. And Matt Damon doesn't want to hear it. He's like, yeah. And it kind of finally breaks through, and he gets it, and he cries, and they have catharsis, and it's a beautiful moment. And they play the scene in the movie. And then this woman lectured us for 3 hours about responsibility, that there was something wrong with this script, because somehow it was his fault that he was abused as a child in foster care, or that he had to take responsibility for whatever it was. This whole big Scientology diatribe about responsibility. And somehow, again, in the context of that story, he's a child in foster care, and he's getting beat his ass up by a big giant man. And to tell that child that that's their fault, that's fucking insane. That's cruel as fuck. George's acting school. I don't remember that. I do remember another guy.
Randall's acting school.
Randall. That was in the basement of CC or something, right?
Yeah. And we used to do like tone scale drills.
There was
out every level of the tone scale.
Oh God. I want to get tattoo of body death. I want to get a tattoo of body death. I think that'd be fun.
Oh my God, let's get tattoos of body death.
That was the one that scared me as a child. Body death and controlling bodies. Those were the two that really worried me. Those were the ones I would read those and go, ooh, that's scary.
Yeah, those are worrisome.
And then body death, just that idea of body death being a tone level, of being an emotion. What's the emotion of body death? But all of it was this sort of like, I remember that actually, all of it was all this sort of like poking fun at or making fun at people for believing themselves to be their bodies. Like we were so enlightened that we knew better than that. We weren't our bodies.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. How silly that people think they're their bodies.
So elitist.
Oh my goodness, the elitism, like nothing else. Even with Janie, even with this divide between people who are in the Sea Org and public, people who are not in the Sea Org, people who are in on some of the like secret backhanded shit, and those of us who were just effect of the secret backhanded shit and didn't even fucking know there was all this. Like, did it ever cross your mind? Did you ever lie in session?
No, because I thought that they would just know.
Never crossed my mind. Never crossed my mind to do it because I didn't think I'd get away with it.
And it's a waste of your money.
And it's a waste of money. Exactly. There's a fundamental difference between public and Sea Org. When you're public and you're paying, you don't lie to the fucking auditor. You think you've paid for a service and you're trying to get as much out of that service as possible. Totally. When you're in the Sea Org, every one of these people, I've heard them talk about lying to the auditor. Every single one of them. And I'm just shocked by that. I'm like, you lie to the auditor? And I guess in the context of the sec check, where they're just trying to get out of the room, it makes sense. But still, it still seems kind of crazy to me. And certainly beyond my concept of what we were doing back then.
Totally. It just seems like a waste.
Hello, welcome, M. Sarmento.
Welcome to Van and Dan's Walking Bullbait Hour.
Okay, so I'll just give you a little heads up. If you ever wondered what made the homeless mustard so weird, is he was born in a cult called Scientology. And that is what we're actually talking about here today, is what it means to be born and raised in the cult of Scientology and how that affects us in the long run in our lives. And not in a good way, you see, is the joke, if we could call it that.
Just like how hard living is after growing up that way, you know, and like
it's just a major head trip
to wake up.
It's so all my fault. You know, that a song like that. It's all my fault. I never thought anything else were true. That's about Scientology. That's about overactive sense of responsibility, feeling like everything is my fault. And that's where that song comes from, you know, or the circus, the Big Tent song.
From day one, that everything you do, you pull in or you're responsible for. And that could be as simple as somebody walking up to you and punching you in the face. You must have done something to pull that in. It's just nonsense.
And all illness is psychosomatic, and that you bring it on yourself. And there's no such thing as, and anybody who is not cause is a victim. And that's the worst thing you can be.
Yeah. And in reality, there are victims. There's victims of crimes. What if you're just at home minding your business with the door locked and somebody breaks in? Like,
well, there's also a difference between being a victim and being victimized, or like feeling victimized.
Yeah.
Like there are some people that kind of carry themselves with this, like, I'm just, you know, they are victim-y or whatever it is. But there is also such a thing as an innocent person being victimized. There is also such a thing as, you know, just walking down the street and somebody comes up to you and tries to beat you to death.
We're victims of a cult, you know, and that's a little hard to come to terms with, but it is true. We were children who were raised in a mind control cult who have both suffered traumas because of it.
Born into a situation we didn't ask to be in against our will and again without our consent, and forced to participate in mind control games and paranoia and narcissism. You know, like, hi, here, have some paranoia and narcissism for your trouble.
Yeah, and like, you know, human emotion and reaction is not allowed. You're not allowed to have emotions. So
you're supposed to be a theta bot.
Early on. Yeah, you're a theta bot.
Who remembers Tom Cruise jumping up and down on Oprah Winfrey's couch? You know, that's what it's supposed to be. We're all supposed to be like that all the time.
super keyed out and BGIs.
Everything's great. Everything's great all the time.
Yeah.
No, really, everything's great all the time. No, believe me. Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm. But it's crazy because we're at, similar points in our recovery, which is really lucky because it definitely is a big mind trip when you first start to realize that.
Well, just even understanding that there's something to recover from, that's a big step. I remember the first time a mental health professional said to me the term PTSD. I went, what? Like soldiers? That's the joke. Yeah. And other people have said the exact same thing. But it's always the outsider who goes, you got some stuff going on here. What is this about? Oh, I don't know. Nothing. And you think it's right. You're not going, oh, I was raised in the cult. You're going, oh, I don't know. My mother was like this and that was like that. And why was it like that? Oh, I don't know. Because L. Ron Hubbard said so. Oh, that's right.
Oh, because our cult leader said so.
Right. Right. There was a toothless fat man on the wall going, do it my way. Do it my way. Somebody made a joke about cross-dressing. Apparently, L. Ron Hubbard was into cross-dressing at some point. Can you imagine that?
Well, L. Ron Hubbard in a dress, have like crazy style, like whether it was like as a Westerner, he really dressed up on the ranch, or like,
well, he always the his bolo, the mascot, the sort of that I always remember that, which seemed fancy, but it's not really. Mm. It's one of those things that seems fancy to people who don't really know what fancy is.
Yeah, no, but he always had like he always tried to go with the genre, so I can imagine him cross-dressing.
Yeah, presumably at some point he was dressing up like girls. I would be I don't even want to know. Look here, Treasure Bloke boycotts all Tom Cruise movies.
Hallelujah.
Big fan of War of the Worlds, but have not seen the Spielberg. It's not worth it. You know what's wrong with the Spielberg version is that Dakota Fanning girl. She is just screaming at the top of her lungs through the whole movie. Literally through the whole movie. And it's appropriate, I suppose, to the situation, running for her life, but still, she starts at 10. She got nowhere to go. She's at 10 the whole time, which is fine.
You know what really bothers me is when so many of my homies will just all of a sudden start talking in front of me about the new Tom Cruise movie and how much they loved it. And I'm like, you guys all know my background, and like, you can't help it but to just love these action movies.
You have no idea how disappointed I am in Simon Pegg. I love Simon Pegg. There's a show called Spaced that he was on years ago, and it's one of the best shows ever. And then he went on to make the Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead and those spoofy movies that are fantastic. And then he got onto the Star Trek thing. He wrote one of the Star Trek movies. And he plays Scotty. I'm pretty sure he plays Scotty too. And so then he gets into the Mission Impossible movies. And so it's like, he started out, funny guy making fun of people like Tom Cruise. And now he's in the Tom Cruise camp. And so it's like, it's disappointing to me.
Disappointing. Who's Brett?
Wow. Oh, that would probably be the hardest catch up to do. Brett, should we even say his last name? I've mentioned it before, actually, but Brett was a friend from the Shangri Lodge. He lived in the Shangri Lodge. They moved in when he was about 13, I think, 13 or 14, when we first met. And his mother and his stepfather were both staff, I want to say LA Day, but I'm not certain. His mother is probably still staff. The father the stepfather was declared because he stole some money. Every time somebody on staff stole some money, I always thought they were just making up for old time. They were just making up for all the money you owe them.
Their wages.
He took some cash and he got in trouble and he got declared. He's one of those guys who used to walk around in his underwear, and the underwear were full of holes at home, even when friends were over. It's one of those generational, old-fashioned things that to him wasn't gross, but to us was kind of weird. Is Simon Pegg as an alcoholic? That's very interesting, Treasure Bloke. I'd be interested to know more about that, because I really like Simon Pegg, and I'm really disappointed that he's been sucked into the Tom Cruise machine. Last I heard. Oh, what?
Who's David Tennant? What's he been in?
David Tennant's an English guy. He was the Doctor in Doctor Who a few years ago. When they rebooted Doctor Who, he wasn't the first one, but he was the one that was the Doctor at the time that show really blew up again. Its second coming, as it were. And he's gone on to be one of the most popular English actors. He was in a fantastic series called Broadchurch with Olivia Colman. Fantastic. So good. So good. I'm sorry. It's just so good. And it's a series. There's three, what we would call a season, they call a series. So there's 3 series. And the first year, there's a crime and they're detectives and they're trying to solve the crime. And the second series is the twist. You actually they think they've solved the crime, but no, they haven't. Oh, it's a whole new thing. There's a whole bigger thing going on. And then the third series is the trial. So you go through this whole story, like from beginning to end through 3 years of it's just so good. And it's David Tennant and Olivia Colman who won the Academy Award for The Favorite. Look at me, don't look at me, look at me, don't look at me, look at me, don't look at me. That girl. I don't know if you saw that movie, but it's so good. The Favorite is so good. Olivia Colman was fucking genius. She plays an unknown English queen called Anne, who was a total nut job. Queen Anne.
Queen Anne.
Queen Anne. And she was a total nut job and a lesbian. And it's all about these 3 women and how they're all like playing these weird head trips on each other to kind of lock each other into each other for safety reasons, because the queen has power and money. But she was a bad queen. She waged a war forever that never ended and nobody got anything out of.
You know who we got to get on here is Kendra.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the Shangri-La girls. Treasure Bloke is still talking about, I think, either David Tennant or Simon Pegg was on a show called Camping with Juliette Lewis.
He was also in a film with Elizabeth Moss. Oh, interesting. So he is attracted to Scientologists. Freaking Elizabeth Moss. She's such an issue.
I don't get it. I really don't get it.
I don't get it either.
I don't know how she does that show and doesn't get what she's a part of. It's so weird to me. The parallels are just so clear and so obvious.
Apparently, when Leah won her Emmy, she got up and walked out.
I heard that Elizabeth Moss had to leave the room. She wasn't allowed to hear what Leah Remini had to say.
How crazy.
Well, it's gonna mess up her programming. You don't want to mess up the programming. You see what happens when you don't properly brainwash a child.
No, you were very properly brainwashed. But
no, because I didn't join the SEER. You're supposed to join the SEER to really get properly brainwashed.
I signed the contract, but it wasn't enforced because I was only 12. So
I was 11 when I signed mine.
I got out of it. Yeah.
And I don't know. And my mother wanted me to go. My mother was so eager for me to go. She wanted me to go. She was trying so hard to sell this idea to me.
Yeah.
I'm really glad. I'm really glad. I'm such a recalcitrant child, and I just wouldn't go.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I wasn't allowed to go until I turned 15.
And then the Hubbard College experience. What was?
15, I was like, no, thank you.
You didn't actually go though. You went to the Hubbard College though. What was that like?
It was really bizarre. There was a lot of international students. It was like they had an e-meter that you use, but it was for word clearing. And hey, Blown for Good. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, Hubbard College was weird. There was a lot of people from different places who were totally trying to become executives. Like they sold people on the admin tech, all the green volumes. So that's what they made courses out of it. They made like 30 courses out of it. And then
you get a degree?
Yeah, you get an associate's degree at the end.
An associate's degree in Scientology? What's the degree in?
It's in business administration. They actually got accredited by some kind of
It makes me
institute.
want to break. Oh, God.
I know. I took a $30,000 loan out to do this at 16.
And those aren't exactly transferable skills, and we've established.
No, no.
Oh,
I had to go
man.
work at like all the Scientology companies. They loved it, but it was I couldn't keep doing it. It was so depressing. Working at Management Success or Survival Insurance or
Remember the Doring
all those.
Company? Is that still around?
Yeah, it is.
Wait, who
All
is
the
this
questions of those twins?
talking? Who is this
It
talking
must
about
be Mark.
the
It
Shangri-La?
must be Mark because it's Mark's channel. My
Oh, Blown
spidey
for Good
senses
is
are
Mark
like-
Headley?
Yeah.
Is that really Mark Headley? Holy shit. We were just talking about doing a Shangri-La episode. It's so funny to me how often it comes up. And I am the king of the Shangri-La.
I lived there for 8 years. Mark Headley, yeah.
Oh, I remember when Aisha went. I'm sorry, Amber Vanassi. She's talking about Aisha Fry. I remember when Aisha went, she just could not stand it. She could not stand it. She was not having it. That's Philly, though. You don't fuck with Philly. Yes, the infamous Mark Headley. Right, Mark. We got to do I want to talk to all these girls. I don't know, Mark. I don't know if you're so good at talking to girls.
He can handle it. He's a good interviewer.
It's mostly girls I want to talk to. I don't think there's any men from the Shangri-La I want to talk to. Cole Caropel. I'd like to talk to him.
Do you remember Michael Roberts?
Yes, of course. His mother Elaine and Shannon. Shannon was his daughter. She was a friend of mine.
Hmm.
Yes, I do. I remember them well. There were a couple like soap opera TV actors, and Michael Roberts was one of them, and he was also in a movie with called Ice Pirates. Ice Pirates for the sci-fi fans. That's a deep cut. But there was a couple other guys I'm trying to remember the names of, and Juliette Lewis's dad was one of them, who was also a TV star.
Robert
actor.
Lewis, isn't that his name?
No, not Robert. I forgot. It doesn't matter.
Michael Lewis.
Jeffrey Lewis.
Jeffrey.
And then there was another guy. I don't remember his name, but he married my godmother. He married.
Oh wow.
He married Susan Appel. Does anybody know Susan Lewis or Susan Appel?
Jeffrey Lewis. He says, "Do you remember Janine Cook? That sounds so familiar."
Janine Cook does sound familiar, but I don't. Cole is in Germany. Cole, my nephew Cole. Oh, Cole Caropel. Yes. Last I heard, he was in Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic. So Germany sounds about right. That would make sense. And he's finally got a punk band. That's one of those things about Cole that I think is fascinating. Because when I was a kid, Cole was the coolest motherfucker on the planet, hands down. Nobody was cooler than Cole Caropel. Not for nothing. And he was like genuine, just punk rock dude. And he had Docs and a mohawk and the whole nine, and he had all these fucking records, and he was obsessed. And so that, he's finally fronting his own punk band is a big deal, I think.
That's
and I'd
cool.
love to talk to him about that, because that was clearly decades in the making. It's clearly something he's wanted to do for a very long time. Sam McTaggart. Amber Vanassi's asking about Sam McTaggart. His mother, Gloria, is one of the finest people I've ever known. She was an old school Scientologist, very much a hippie lady.
I remember that name.
I loved her.
Gloria
I love Gloria McTaggart. And Sam and I were frenemies growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I lived in the very front apartment, 101, like Michael Brown.
Was that the one right off the pool that you guys had?
Yeah. No. Yeah. That was the manager's apartment. We lived in the front in 101, like the rock wall behind that wall. And that was the front apartment. That was 101. And then we moved around down the hall to 104.
Mark lived in 6 different apartments. So did I. We were, our apartment in 1994 was the worst hit of all the apartments. We were like in an lower unit. Like if you were walking out of the jacuzzi area and you walked to the very back, our apartment was down those stairs. For whatever reason, we're always moving around into different apartments. But yeah, we got the worst.
When you say the hardest hit, you mean from the earthquake?
Yeah, it got the worst damage.
Yeah. That's so funny. We still remember that.
Going outside that morning.
Say what?
Do you remember going outside that morning when the earthquake happened?
This is the Northridge quake, right?
Yeah.
I think I went to school that day. I remember I was getting dressed. I was getting ready for school when it hit.
Wow.
Was it that long? Was that the same one? No, because in '94 I would have been grown by then. Now I'm talking about an earthquake that happened when I was like 13 or something, 12 or 13. The Northridge quake was later. Either way. Oh, Southern California and their earthquakes. We can't keep track. What?
They had all the CCC org members out, and it was all of us from the Shangri-La all standing there trying to figure out what to do.
Well, that's it. That's the funny thing about LA earthquakes. Everybody goes outside and stands on the street and stares at neighbors they've never met before.
Yeah.
Who are you? I live right there. Really?
What are you doing? How's your baby doing?
She's being naughty. She's not getting attention, and she's back there picking at stuff. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, kid? Oh.
So many people lived in the Shangri-La in this chat. I love it.
Well, yeah, it was kind of a weird little epicenter kind of place, and certainly a lot of ex-ESO came through there. A lot of people coming out. A lot of people on staff live there.
Mm-hmm. Weren't there even people like in hospice throughout time?
Yeah, and the thing they did with my father, where like people were dying, so they just set him up in an apartment and let them die, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
They were very big into that. Dr. Kevorkian would have been very popular amongst the Scientologists back in the day. They were very big on it. Just let them die. Drop the body. It's okay. We don't need you no more. You're not useful to us anymore. Go ahead and just drop the body. Come back to us in 18 years.
Your debts have been paid.
So infuriating. Like, I can't imagine what would have happened if my father had tried to fight his cancer at all. You know, if he'd actually gotten chemo, or if like he'd let his family know that he was sick so we could rally behind him, or even have an opportunity to know he was sick and give a shit about it. And he just kept it all to himself. He didn't until it was too late to even do anything about it.
Yeah. They usually find out late stage anyway.
Well, no, he found out in time. He had time. He had a whole year. He had been diagnosed. He had cancer on one kidney, and they removed it. And then the concern was watching the other kidney, and he just didn't. He just let the other one die. The other one got cancer too, and he just let it happen. He didn't do anything about it. You know what I mean? Like I at the same time, I'm glad I was spared do I have to give my estranged father a kidney to say, like, at least he didn't ask me for a kidney.
Yeah.
Now they'd be no good to him anyway.
Yeah.
Now my kidneys are barely speaking to me now.
No one wants your kidneys now.
But back then they were still.
I remember this giveaway table where people would just dump all their junk and people would pick through it.
People do that.
At all.
People do that here. People do that. There's a fireplace in the front entrance of this building, and on the hearth of the fire, on the top of the fireplace, people put stuff out like that. And in the city, people do it all the time. Books and clothes, stuff like that. They put out by the mailbox for anybody who might want it. Half the books I own right now, I got free off the streets in New York City.
Wow.
I don't consider books to be junk. It's mostly books and baby clothes. That's what you find. It's mostly books and baby clothes, things that people don't want to throw away, but they feel like somebody else could probably use.
They just set it out.
Yeah, and they set it out. Sometimes you put it out in a bag or a box or something. Even in this neighborhood here, people put out stuff. There was a big bag of blankets in the park over by my therapist when I just a few hours ago. Somebody put out
When I went to Boston, the weirdest thing was that they put their trash bags on the street. Like, ours are usually in a bin and like rolled up neatly.
Oh yeah, they do that in New York.
On the street.
Oh yeah, they do that in New York. There's garbage piled up everywhere in New York, and they don't. There's so much. They just don't get to it fast enough. And the city's so small, and those trucks are so big. Yes, I think Raven wants to come on. Are you trying to get on the look, there she is. There she is.
Like, I'm over this shit, Dad. Pay me attention right now.
She don't care. She does not care. She's like, give me my attention. Damn you. Or a treat or something. She's chewing.
Oh my God, Amber, yes.
What'd she say?
Daniel had the keys to the soda machine.
You know, that was the bane of my existence because I could never trust anybody because everybody always just wanted a soda out of me. Yes,
It
I
was
had the key to
probably
the.
just Hanson's.
Who said that? How you doing?
Me.
You know, when they first opened Trader Joe's here in New York City, which wasn't that long ago, I found Hanson soda at the Trader Joe's for the first time in years. I was drinking it like crazy. I was like, "Oh my god, it's Mandarin
I
lime!"
still buy it.
Oh my
Buy it. Hi Po, happy to see you here. Thanks for stopping by.
Poe,
We got all the heavy
yay!
hitters in the house.
John Poe is here. We've already talked about you, John. We can't talk about you more.
We talk about you on every episode, John.
We're so grateful. We're so appreciative.
Yes, we love some Poe on the go.
Yeah, free soda. Somebody was buying that soda, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Hey. Oh, they have Hanson's at Sprouts as well. I love Sprouts. Do you guys have Sprouts out there? Oh.
That sounds like some California hippie shit.
It is.
Is it Brussels sprouts or?
It used to be Boney's Market, and then they changed it to Sprouts. At least
it's those sprouts you put on that everybody puts on their sandwiches in California. Yes, your ears are burning. I'm sure they were burning, John. But we say nothing but nice things. We say nothing but good things.
Always singing your praises, talking about how you're a real father.
How it's the contrast of the grown-ups we've learned to meet and know in contrast to the not so grown-ups we grew up around.
Yeah, it's nice to know some real grown-ups who act like grown-ups.
There's so few of them about.
Yeah, but we're grateful for the ones who we have met. What was your favorite flavor of Hanson's?
Mandarin lime. Yeah, that was the orange and lime. There was a lemon lime, Mandarin lime. There was like 3 of them.
Yeah. Remember the Blue Sky cream sodas?
Say what?
Blue Sky cream sodas. Sometimes those were at the health food store too. Those are really good.
No, I remember kefir.
Yeah, I still get kefir.
when I had my teeth pulled. When I had my Mandarin lime. Did they make a root beer too? I don't remember a root beer. I'm glad I didn't have that. I think I just drank the Mandarin lime. There was a lemon lime too, but I don't think I think I just like the Mandarin.
And a black cherry. Good luck on your life, Poe.
Have fun. I guess we got to send people to John Poe, right? Is that the deal?
Yeah, always.
Everybody go look at John Poe when you're done here.
Yeah, I don't know
Poe on the go.
What's going on, but we'll tell people to head over there when we wrap up because, then they'll say room raid from Van and Dan's walking bullbait hour.
I love being a walking bullbait. That's so much fun. The fun of it, being able to reclaim and have fun with those things that we were shamed for and made to feel lesser for. That's a powerful thing.
Taking our words back.
Yeah, and especially all the words he misdefined.
Yeah, I mean, bullbaiting is super fucked up. It teaches you not to listen to your body at all.
Like I've said about that, the responsibility thing, like we live in a culture where people don't want to take responsibility for anything. So teaching people to take more responsibility for themselves, that's a good idea. Teaching people to have high confront in certain kind of high stress situations, that's not a bad thing. But what it actually does, especially to children, that is a very bad thing. And
think about that word, confront. It's so aggressive.
Confrontational.
Yeah.
It's confrontational.
But you're confronting, but it's like, that is a confrontational saying.
Right. But you only need to have your confronting when you're in a confrontation. When somebody is bullbaiting, then you're supposed to have your.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Natalie, I don't even remember what it was. She read something out of a book, you're the being and you're the being, and then you're the being and you're not the being, or whatever it was. And it was just so fun. It's so funny to me to like listen to us all like talk about these things and go, God, I actually thought that made sense. That like I was talking about today about how much time I spent as a child making sense of these things. Like I believed that he was right. So if it didn't make sense on the surface, there was something I was wrong, and I had to figure out how to make him right. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we all did.
And so much wasted energy and thinking and create so much wasted creativity on trying to make lies make sense, right?
Yeah, and that was the word Claire's job too. If something didn't
Nora.
make sense to us, there had to have been a misunderstood word, right?
I wonder if we could put an org together with just the SPTV Nation people. Do we have all the appropriate hats filled? Do we have a course supervisor?
Totally. We need a course supervisor.
You'd be the course supervisor. Nora's the word clear. What else do we need?
We need an examiner.
We need some clay.
We need some clay. We need some demo kits. We need a lot of dictionaries, a lot of derivation dictionaries.
Oh my
God. A lot of tech volumes. I have the tech volumes in my garage.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
They were a gift.
I'm so glad I don't have any of it. I don't have a single scrap of Scientology paperwork at all. I don't have a flyer. I don't have anything. I don't have a book.
Yeah.
Raven, what are you doing?
When was the last time they tried to contact?
Where should you be? When I was in LA, I think. I don't think anybody's trying to contact me, so I went to New York. When you're a bum on the streets, they can't really find you. That's the only place they can't find you, the Scientologists. Although they did, there was a couple Scientologists that show up that my mother had sent.
Wow.
Yeah. Stephanie Solomon, what happened to her? Did anybody in the chat remember her?
Wow. My mom was best friends with her mom too, Sue Solomon. She passed away around the time your mom passed away.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Stephanie, wow. I haven't seen or thought about her in a long time.
She came to the park and with her daughter. She had a little girl with her. And she, I think what she saw was that I wasn't kidding. Like, I think that my mother was trying to like make out like it was like he was like my sister had told some people I was off in New York having adventures.
Like, so like they're traumatizing.
Right. He's just having fun. He's just doing his thing. You know what I mean? Like, no, I was literally trying to kill myself, but they didn't know that. And they didn't want to know that. And so Stephanie shows up and she thinks it's going to be no big deal. And I'll be like, oh, you're right. I need to get out of here. And instead I was like, this, it was not what she thought. And she got scared and she ran off. She didn't even finish talking to me.
That's crazy. Professor Kakan, I live very close to Gilman Hot Springs. It is very hot out here in the desert right now. But you know what? LA, it's like 109 this week, and we're actually cooler than LA in the desert for some reason. So that's kind of cool.
It's a dry heat.
It's dry heat. Everyone always says that.
Always say that. It's dry. It's just as cliche as in New York saying it's not the heat, it's the humidity. It's dry.
Yeah. Exactly.
Amber says she liked doing clay demos. You probably should have been a sculptor, Amber.
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing to like about it is the art, the artistry of sculpting. If you were into that, not that you had time.
Dude, they used to be so cruel. Like, I had to clay demo responsibility once. Like, that shit takes forever.
Yeah, the high brain concepts. There's an art project, get a bunch of ambiguous terms. Clay demo love, clay demo compassion, clay demo remorse.
Clay demo the 8 dynamics.
All 8 of them?
I got so good at doing the infinity symbol in clay.
Oh God, that's so funny. I can remember a lot of that. We had that poster. Did you have a poster? We had a poster up on the closet wall next to the tone scale poster. It was the 8 dynamics poster.
Oh no, I didn't have a dynamics.
Artistic renderings of the 8 dynamics.
Wow. Sounds legit.
What is it? It's too legit to quit. Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
demos were like the bane of my existence, and Star 8 checkouts, of course. Remember getting a target on your check sheet?
No, I didn't really, because again, I didn't really go on course very often. So you've mentioned this before, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I didn't take it. I didn't take that part of it as seriously.
That's fucked up. No wonder you had to claim you were a Scientologist.
This is why I was not properly brainwashed. I was not properly brainwashed. God, I feel gypped. Instead, I'm just stuck in constant confusion. At least if I've been properly brainwashed, I'd have some of this narcissism that seems to drive so many people. If only I had.
It does. It takes them far. Takes them far.
Oh, Amber Vanassi, you are thinking of Emma Lou Rice. Emma Lou Rice was a longtime Sea Org member, joined the Sea Org when she was very young, was in the Sea Org for like 30 years, was a very well-known character at CC, and then she got too old and they kicked her out. And we ended up kind of taking her in. It's another example of the elder abuse that goes on in Scientology Sea Org.
Yeah. That sounds horrible.
Mark is telling us that at the Scientology Int base, clay demo tables were outside, and if you left your clay demo up overnight, they would melt into a puddle during the next day and just
be fucked up.
A pile of slop? A pile of slop?
A pile of slop.
A ball of slop?
Those, clay demo labels probably sticking out everywhere.
Little tombstones. little labels. And cutting up the little labels. Pile. He meant pile.
Like,
pile of slop.
Judy, husband, wife, kid.
And I would think I could imagine the clay demos baking in the sun and becoming like, like a solid thing, but I guess they would melt too.
Yeah. The clay demos were not like doing mosaics or like doing fun clay things. They were like, you had to roll it up. And
and it was always quick. Yeah, you were always in a hurry to get this fucking, rolling balls and smashing. And the smell, that's what it was. That clay, it's like oily. The clay
always in your fingernails.
Oh, God, it was just awful. And I see it, I see it in art stores sometimes. And I can't even look at it. And the smell of it just, I can't even.
Yeah, it was rough.
No, I just can't.
It was rough.
Just too many things. Clay demos and wheatgrass shots or whatever. Okay. I'm gonna sing a song now. Is that what's up?
Okay, I'm gonna put you on the big old stage.
All right. All right. Give me a minute.
Okay, we'll get you set up. Eventually all the colors would morph into one brownish color. Totally. They had to like replace the colors very often in course rooms because they would always get mashed together. What is he talking about back there? Hope you guys are ready for a good original song.
She's part of our show every week. It doesn't seem that Raven is a fan of the SBT.
She's not a fan of your not paying attention to her. That's for sure.
Oh, I gotta move the mic.
Okay, you guys. See you in a moment.
Frozen in place. Oh, turn to the face, frozen in place, to touch, burned by the rain, so they say, falling up. Cursed to retrace, it is pressing a pace, and your look when there ain't even in there enough. And all your bass belong to us. And all your bass belong to us. All your bass, all your bass. Signed off on prescriptions written by you to manipulate perception, polarize the view. Who's willing to wear all of their heart out on their sleeve when only by permission are you allowed to leave? Oh, turn to the face, frozen in place, too hard to touch. Burned by the rain, oh, so they say, falling up. Cursed to retrace, at as pressing a pace as your dumb luck. When there ain't even in the air enough. And all your bass belong to us. Air enough. And all your bass belong to us. All your bass, all your bass. So sick of the distractions, depending on what y'all doing. Distance to impact on the rate of your ruin. And going out on a limb to think stupid this as it does. In an opposite reaction to equal cause. Oh, turn to the face, frozen in place, too hard to touch, burned by the rain, or so they say, falling up. Cursed to retrace at this pressing a pace as your dumb luck when there ain't even in the air enough. Now your bass belong to us. All your bass, all your bass. Now your bass belong to us. I never know how to end anything. Yay. That's about Scientology.
Yay.
That's about Scientology in a roundabout way.
I heard the word ruin. I was really into
ruin, equal cause. There's a couple things that definitely trigger words.
Love the video game reference in your song.
The game, right? The line is "All your bass belong to us." And this is from the '90s, and it was a Japanese video game, and it was a bad translation. So it was meant to say, all your bases now belong to us. It was aliens have invaded and they're taking over your base. And the line was, all your base belong to us. And then whoever it was, we kind of picked up on it. It's before the internet, before memes, so people would actually like hack into like traffic signs and put this phrase up on like, freeway blocked and all your base belong to us. Wow. It was in that, movie Waking Life, whatever. So and as soon as I heard it, every time I hear it, and that throughout the whole running gag of that, I would always think it sounded like some sort of Scientological thing. All your your space stations belong to us, kind of thing. And so I love the idea of putting that in there and using that.
Yeah.
But turn to the face, frozen in place, but too hot to touch. That's to me, that's Scientologists, like cold, but also rigid, like also angry and hard to be around, all this, both things at the same time. Burned by rain, falling up, whatever. Or
they want to know if you take requests.
I'm thinking it's a good question. I'm thinking I should do that as like a paywall thing, right? I was thinking I should like covers. I'll do covers for like how much would people pay for that?
It's kind of like doing Cameo, the Cameo thing.
Right. Then maybe I should do that. Maybe that's what I should do, cameos for songs.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. People could buy personalized songs even, or like their favorite song sung by you. Creep by Radiohead. Look, we all know how that one sounds. It was your best.
Wait, what does this say? It was a meme that was popularized
by the Something Awful forums, which had an active Scientology thread. Mark Bunker was on it, and so was Arnie Lerma. Oh, interesting.
Wait, what meme? He's talking about the All Your
I don't know.
Blondes?
Maybe.
Because I remember it being before memes, but it doesn't matter. There was no Facebook. There was no Facebook back then. Can you imagine it, kids? A time before the Facebook. Oh, we had to
but before Facebook, we had MySpace.
Yeah, we did. And we all had a friend in what's his name? At least Mark Zuckerberg. Yeah, at least Mark Zuckerberg didn't force us to be his friend.
Yeah. Oh, Amber says, when I was going through a divorce, I would listen to Daniel's music to cheer me up and make me feel better listening to an old friend. Oh, that's so sweet. Amber. Okay. Yeah, I used to listen to his music before we got in touch with him too, and be like, hopefully one day.
Let me ask you, Vanessa, and I should ask other people who used to know me. What was that when you first saw that? When did you first see the clip thing, the creep thing, and what did you make of it?
I first saw it years ago, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is insane!" And I thought it was so incredibly good. And I would listen to it throughout the years and be like, "Oh my god, I hope Danny because you'd resurface, but only for like you'd write on MySpace or Facebook or whatever, but it was like then you'd never log on again for like 2 years. For a long time,
for a while there, I'm pissed at the MySpace people because I had uploaded a shit ton of pictures. That Gabby, a friend of mine, she was the baby mama of a friend of mine, to be honest, but it doesn't matter. But she was a photographer and she took a shit ton of pictures of us in the park when we were living in the park. And I still have some of them, like that picture of me with the black eyes. She took that picture, but I uploaded all of those pictures onto MySpace and they're all gone.
And because now they're all gone.
Yeah, when they did when they changed it, they just all the content I had on there was gone.
So much good stuff got just trashed from.
And that's what it was. Okay, so the creep thing, right? So the other day, a while ago, I'd seen one of these reaction videos. This kid had reacted to the creep clip, the clip of me singing creep.
Oh, cool.
And it was really cute. A friend of mine showed it to me. I thought it was very funny. And so then recently I noticed a new one and I watched it and it was really kind of mind blowing. And I'm like, and the woman said when because like in the beginning it's okay. I'm like kind of grumbly at the beginning and then I kind of kick in the voice. And the guy like stopped the video and was like goosebumps and he was all like freaking out. And the girl says, he has a voice like this. He has the voice like the skin of a peach. I thought that was so cute. I love that so much.
Wow.
I like that so much. But what I wanted to ask you, because then I said that I saw it, I watched it, I liked it, and I shared it, and then I said to somebody, I was like, is that narcissistic of me to share that?
No.
They were like, yep. I don't think, well, it's not like I was looking for it. I just happened to notice it was there. And then I was really kind of moved by the things that they said in the clip.
Yeah.
And I almost wish I thought to do my own reaction video to their reaction video.
You
like,
still can. I mean, that'd be cool.
Because I've already seen it. But would it be silly of me to do a commentary for the Creep video, like to talk about like the vodka on the couch, or like where the guitar came from, or who's coughing in the background? Like people always want to know, who is that coughing? It's Anthony coughing. That's who's coughing.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that would be really cool, because so many people have watched it. So to know like behind the music almost would be really cool.
Right. Like a running commentary on a movie or something, right? Just to answer her question real quick, it was Saint Hollywood. Saint Hollywood is what I was on MySpace. Saint Hollywood.
That's
Saint as in I ain't no Saint Hollywood as I really am from Hollywood.
I was Sweet Adeline.
Sweet Adeline. Good things never seem so bad. I can't remember if that's Neil Diamond or Barry Manilow, but it's one of those. Anonymous use what? Sweet Caroline?
All the time.
Sweet Caroline?
I wonder. No, probably. I don't know. Oh, maybe he's a little bit behind talking about that. Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Who were Anonymous, Mark? When I first started seeing Anonymous pop up, and I was way out of it. I was here in New York. And when I first started seeing them pop up, I would honestly thought they were Scientologists. I honestly thought this was the first rung of rebel second generation Scientologists kicking back. And I'm still curious to know if that's true, if any of those people were second gens or Scientologists, because they went after
people who met on this internet board, and they had this thing called Project Chanology, and they all got together and decided that they were going to use Scientology's fear tactics against themselves.
See, that makes me feel like
it was mostly people who had never been in, though.
But you know that, or is that what you know that? I mean, they're anonymous. How do you really know who they are?
I've met.
Do you know who,
I've met
wait, Vanessa. Do you know who Banksy is?
Yes. I have Banksy in my bedroom.
I think it's John Atack. I think John Atack is Banksy.
Yeah, for sure.
How about Apostle Alex? He could be Banksy. No,
Banksy,
King Charles. King Charles is Banksy. Wouldn't that be great if it turned out it was King Charles all this time?
No, I mean, they were surveilling, the church was surveilling my Facebook, I think, since the day it started. They were always going through your friends list, and you can't be friends with this person, and it was so evil. You're lucky you didn't have to deal with any of that.
I really, whatever. I guess I know I am, but at the same time, I feel left out. Osa doesn't love me. I have no love for. I got no love from Osa.
Keep trying, and maybe Osa will show up.
That's just how much I don't matter. Oh, no. I'm not even worth picking on. Oh, damn.
I don't know. We had some trolls earlier. Maybe that was Osa.
We did have. Well, technically our second troll.
Yeah. There was someone else in there who said something mean too that I'm glad we didn't respond to. Oh yeah. No, yeah. Again, I don't understand why people come out here and talk the shit. The whole point, I don't know, because the thing is we're here kind of putting ourselves out, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's really punching down no matter who you're talking to if you're going to come at people like this. It's pretty weak. It's pretty small. Mm-hmm. And it does speak to boy, don't you have something better to do? I can't even get shit done in my day, and my day isn't that busy. You got time to sit around and just talk shit about people. It reminds me of people used to write those really long elaborate KRs, pages and pages. Yeah.
Pages. And you're like, oh my god, I get it. Time, place, form, and event. Keep it simple. Keep it simple,
stupid. Do you have anything else to do, you assholes?
On the 3rd of March, she looked at me funny, I swear.
Oh my god. I got numerous ones for underage drinking, that's for sure.
Oh, I got written up for singing too loud. I got a KR written up on me for singing too loud because some other guy in the building could hear it. And he didn't like that.
Serious?
Oh, yeah. He wrote me up to CC for singing too loud. And he referred to my singing as Negro spirituals. Singing is Negro spiritual. This is what I think he was. I think he's talking about he's talking about gospel. I mean, like, fine. No, he's talking about chain gang. He's talking about like slaves working on a chain gang or something. I don't know what he's talking about. He just didn't understand what I was singing. And it was just such a weird, bizarrely old-fashioned racist way of putting that. Okay, he sings loudly and with emotion. No, it was Negro spirituals. It was very strange the way he put it. And of course, Cece had to know all about it because.
Of course. Amber says, I only knew one person that was in Anonymous. She was in the Sea Org at CC, and she talks about how the president of Celebrity Center made her get an abortion. Well, that's horrible. Yeah. I think some did, but I also know a lot of people who talked to the anonymous protesters during that time were like surprised at how smart their arguments were, and it actually made them think instead of just feel attacked. So they did do it well sometimes.
Well, that's the automatic response. Somebody says something, you go, no, it's not. You're crazy. You're making it up. Whatever it is, you're stupid. Yeah. But then if you actually, and that's why people avoid engaging, because when you actually do engage, you realize people have an argument or a point of view or a brain in their heads. When you actually have to think about your stance, you have to think about your opinion. Maybe you have to revise it. Oh, and people don't like to do that.
No, they don't. Yeah, they don't like to be uncomfortable.
It's amazing to me how often it seems to me, particularly amongst men, like people who they took a look at the world when they were 12 years old, and that was it. They made up their minds, and they haven't grown an inch since. And it's amazing to me how consistently I find this sort of adolescent mentality in grown-ass people. Not just scientific.
Well, because the world caters to them. They don't have to, I've been forced to many a time look at my opinions, ideas, and have to change them for survival, but a lot of people don't. They don't ever have to reflect.
If you don't have to.
Yeah.
Music with H-E-N-R. I love it. Yeah. That's right. He was singing with all that H-E-N-R.
Yeah.
Thank you, Twyla. You got it. You nailed it.
Too much H-E-N-R. That's for sure.
Oh, he's got all that feels. We don't like those feels. They make us remember that we're not feeling them.
Yeah. Or that we feel anything.
Oh, it's sad. And that's the face, too hot to frozen in place, but too hot to touch.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So,
yeah, that song was great.
It needs an organ. It needs a big, dramatic organ. There's a song on one of my records that's produced. Well, it doesn't matter. I don't know. Someday.
When are you gonna have your AA friend on your show?
Oh, Shanna Clark. Soon. I don't know, because I'm gonna talk to Jamie again this weekend, I think.
Oh, you are?
So, yeah. Oh, I got things to say. I got follow-ups. I got questions for him now. Ah! Jamie, define
Watch out.
Is it true?
I like it. Is it true?
What's really funny? What's really funny is there's an old movie called Marathon Man with Dustin Hoffman and Sir Laurence Olivier. And Laurence Olivier plays a Nazi who's trying to get some diamonds that they're trying to smuggle out of Brazil. And Dustin Hoffman is just kind of a dope who has nothing to do with this, but his brother does, and he gets kind of pulled into it. And he ends up spending this entire film running for his life. And he's finally captured by the Nazi, Laurence Olivier, who is also a dentist. And he is there now in this room, and he is strapped to a dentist chair, and he is about to torture him with dental tools. And he says one thing, and he repeats the auditing question. Is it safe? Is it safe? Is it safe? Meaning, is it safe to go retrieve the diamonds? Oh, yes. Very scary. For people who know that movie, it's one of the scariest things ever. And it's one of the great examples of an actor really bringing some crazy shit that you didn't like. Like, that's not in the writing. He brought all sorts of stuff that's not in the line is it safe? A different actor would have read that very differently. Laurence Olivier makes it the most creepy, scariest, most ominous thing you ever heard in your fucking life. And so when Jamie's like, is it true? Is it true? Is it true? I'm like, it's fucking, it's the dentist Nazis coming at me.
Is it true?
Right. Tortured with dental tools. Unless you're Bill Murray in Little Shop of Horrors, then you love it.
Yeah, very much a lot of people's, I think, worst nightmares.
Oh, yeah. There's something really just scary about teeth pain, dental pain, nerves. I don't know. It's just too much.
Yeah, and the drill.
I'm so glad I have most of my teeth. I lost a couple in the back. Steve Martin was the crazy dentist in Little Shop of Horrors. Bill Murray was the patient who liked being tortured.
Oh,
he was the one who went to that dentist because he had a habit for causing things pain.
Spooky.
Which is a line from the song he sings. You'll be a dentist. You got the habit for causing things pain.
Yeah, for sure. No, thank you.
And dental pain, like the teeth, these nerves are very, very sensitive. And, and you get
they're close to your brain. Exactly right.
And you can get an exposed nerve in your tooth in a way that you can't really get an exposed nerve other places.
Yeah, for sure. Well, should we send people over to Poe's stream?
Yeah, go to Room Raid. Go Poe on the go.
Go Room Raid Poe on the go. Tell him that Van and Dan sent you.
Van and Don. Van and Don.
And thank you guys for hanging out with us for the last 2 hours. It has been so fun.
So fun. And definitely, join us again.
Mark. Thanks for coming by.
I'm gonna have to talk to Mark.
Everybody else for stopping by. Yeah, you should do an interview. That'd be really cool.
I know, right? Message me, Mark.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thanks, you guys. And
I say naughty things.
You said totally. So
you said totally. All right.
Totally.
I'll await your message. All right. Let me open this. Okay. Where are we?
And those of us on the replay crew, leave us a message and let us know you're watching because we love to see you too.
About the covers, paying for covers. Would people actually do that?
Yeah.
Because that would be awesome. I could totally do that. Like John Poe, you owe me money. John Poe.
You did do Poe's song for him. That's what I was thinking. Like he does take requests because Poe wanted it.
And my therapist and I were just talking about this, allowing this to inform the music. Like the last 3 covers I did, not the 3, 2 of the last 3 covers I did were in reference to conversations on this. So so
that's cool. I love that.
That's definitely coming. And there's a whole lot more like little trigger words like ruin. And cause.
You just threw in there.
Well, no, I mean, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do it on purpose. That's the point, is it's just kind of comes out that way. And you're like, okay. And for a long time, I used to stay away from words like that. And now it's like, I feel like a little more comfortable having it in there. So I think that's a good thing.
Reclaiming our own language.
Right, exactly. Because words have real meaning. Words, Roxanne. All right. Thank you all. Thank you, Alex. Your love.
Thanks, Alex, for being here. We love you. I'll check on your
Mark.
CSW.
And thank you, Mark, also for coming in. This is a kind of cool.
Yeah. Super fun to have all these.
We have an exec. We have an exec in the room.
I know. I like being the YouTube that the YouTubers watch. We might not be the biggest channel, but we have a lot of our friends watching.
Like the comics comic. Like the comics comic. The comics that all the other comics like.
Way cooler than being mainstream, right?
Yeah, I just want Osa to pay me.
They're not going to pay you.
Damn.
You're funny.
Damn it.
You're super funny. Oh, now my dog needs me. She's back here.
All right. Yeah, it's fun to catch it live. It's fun to comment. I always get a thrill when somebody, reads my comments or jokes. I'm always making jokes on these threads about like the ethics officer is the trauma dominatrix.
Very true.
Because your ethics officer is basically just triggering your trauma. That's what they do. All right.
Yeah.
Yes, puppies are so cute.
Until next week. Thank you,
Bye.
Renee. Bye, guys.
Love you, Renee. Love you, Vanessa.